Morning. Toastmaster Robert Leedy will be giving his icebreaker. This is the third icebreaker speech that Robert has given since joining Winter Park Toastmasters in 2012. Please welcome Robert as he gives his speech. I am on another path now.
I am maybe. I am a B-O. I am a B-O-O-K-S-E-L-L-E-R. And I will S-E-L-L-Y. I will use some B-O-O-K-S and you will P-A-Y-M-E-S-O-N-E-M-O-N-E-Y. Did you follow that? Yes. I was wondering if I had to spell it out for you. I am a bookseller. I will sell you some books and you will pay me some money. Winter Park Toastmasters and guests. That song I just sang was my career theme song for many years. In 1993, I opened a used bookstore, Leedy's Books. That's it, right? And I operated it for the next 18 years until 2011. Oh, yes. In retrospect, the idea of opening a used bookstore at that time in my life seems to me now to be a little insane. My wife Rebecca and I moved to Central Florida in 1992 with the idea that I would open up this used bookstore. I had a whopping $10,000 saved up for this endeavor. Not much. Every day I would go to the ATM. I grabbed some 20s. I grabbed some 50s. I grabbed whatever it gave me. I head to estate sales, thrift stores, and God knows where, Florida, and buy books. My daily bank account balance on the graph looked kind of like an expert's pencil. My wife Rebecca, resourceful as she was, got a job. What do you know? She worked at Maitland Public Library. Ooh. But she didn't stay there very long. One day she came home and she said, "Honey, I'm pregnant with our first child." I said, "Fantastic." She said, "Honey, I'm not going back to work again." I said, "Great." We were young and insane. But you know what? Everything seemed to work out in the end. Rebecca had our first child, Caleb. She had 2 other children, and she was able to stay home with all 3 of our kids until our youngest was in first grade. I was the breadwinner. I paid the bills at work. I paid the bills at home. I gave myself a salary every now and then. We bought a house. We bought clothes. We bought food. Not much else. But you know what? The kids didn't really know any different. They grew up. They graduated from high school. They went to college. They graduated from college. They had no student loan debt. Ta-da! I'm on a different path now. You see, in 2010, by 2010, I had moved my bookstore down to Route 50. Not the smartest business decision. My wife Rebecca had gotten a job, thankfully, at that point in time, and was earning some money. I was essentially volunteering in my own business. Fortunately, there was another used bookstore in town, Bright Light Books. They offered me a job, which I took. I would eventually sell my entire inventory to Bright Light Books. And that was a good decision financially. However, it was very difficult for me emotionally. And it's no coincidence that the very next year, 2012, I joined Winter Park Toastmasters. When I joined Winter Park Toastmasters, I was lacking in confidence. I wasn't sure about myself. I didn't know what I was doing, where I was going. However, Winter Park Toastmasters gave me the opportunity to experiment. I tried different kinds of speeches. And to my great surprise, I had a lot of success doing humorous speeches. My fellow Toastmaster, Yvonne Listerod, I entered our local humorous speech contest, and I won. I would go on and win at the area, and the division, and eventually make it to the district conference. Winter Park Toastmasters, and Toastmasters in general, is, I believe, the very best leadership development program that is open to everyone. You get to pick a path through Pathways, which is a series of speaking projects that hopefully will line up with your own personal goals. You also have the opportunity to run for one of the officer positions within the club. That is something I've done as well. And all that time, you get feedback about your speeches and how you're doing. I had a mentor as well, Gordy Allen, who cajoled me onto the path that I'm on today. Which brings me to my current dilemma. I was looking at Pathways, and the paths, they didn't quite line up with my own personal goals, which is normal, but I wanted something that really lined up. So I made my own path. I call it the humorous songwriting path. Today's my icebreaker, and the little song I sang at the beginning is part of my project. Now, songwriting can be very difficult. It requires a lot of personal discipline, something I often lack. But by creating a path for it, this provides for me some accountability, some feedback, which I desperately need. Now, songwriting is just a hobby for me. It's something I've done all my life since I was a kid. I would like it to be more than that. I would like it to be something I can make money from. Now, I know what you're thinking. It sounds a little bit insane. But I know everything will work out in the end. Mr. Toastmaster.